Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a good day. Big day today for a lot of kids going back to school, and if you have kids going back to school, that usually means that you're getting back into a routine, coming back from your vacations and getting settled back in and getting back to that fall routine. And that can be tough for a lot of people, and it can cause a little bit of anxiety as well. So if you are stressing out about it, I'm going to talk about some neat little tips to help you get back onto your routine and make it as easy as possible to ease back into it. Because I know that when I've been off my routine for a while and it's time to get back into things, it can be a little bit tough. You can feel a little bit of anxiety about it. You can feel a little bit of depression about it because all the fun times of summer are coming to an end and it's time to get serious again. But it doesn't have to be a difficult thing to do, and I'm going to help you out by giving you some tips. So, first tip, schedule it. So really important to schedule it. So if you're getting back to a workout routine, don't just say, oh, I'm going to work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Actually get your day timer out or your app or whatever and actually schedule your workout for specific days at specific times. So if you're taking a class at a studio, that's easy. There's going to be a specific time you have to be there. But if you're doing your own workout, whether it's at home or you're going outside or you're just going to go to the gym and do some stuff, have an actual time set for that. So that's your part of your day where you do that thing. So if it's scheduled, you're more likely to do it than if it's not scheduled. If you're just kind of like, oh, I'm going to go on this day, but you don't have an actual time set, chances are that day's going to come and you're going to be like, oh, I'm too busy today. So actually set a time like you would set any kind of appointment. Another good thing to do is to tie your activity to another routine that you're going to be starting. So for instance, if you've got kids that are going to school, make your gym time for right after you drop the kids off. So pack up your stuff, have it in the car, drop the kids off at school, and then you go right to the gym or right to your favorite class or whatever, and that's going to keep you on track. My classes that are the most well attended and have the most regulars are my 9:15 classes, because the moms are dropping the kids off at school and they're coming straight to the studio. So they're already out and about, they've got their stuff with them, no excuses, it's part of their routine, don't even have to think about it. So tying it to something that you know you're going to be doing every single day will really help, especially when it comes to fitness, because we all know that there's going to be days where you're like, oh, I don't feel like working out today, I'm too tired. You can talk yourself out of it very easily. But if you're already set up and ready to go, you're going to be, there's a better chance that you're going to actually do it. Hey, Andre, how's it going? Next one is don't be an all or nothing type of person, and I struggle with this one, but you have to realize that sometimes life is going to get in the way of even your best intentions. So, you might have your workout scheduled for that day. It's you've got it in your day timer, you're planning on doing it, but then something happens. Maybe your kid is sick, so you've got the kids at home and you have to stay home and look after them. So something has now gotten in the way of you doing your usual workout. So don't just be like, okay, well, I'm just going to skip it. That's it. I can't do it. I can't do it like I normally do. So that's it. Just improvise. So if you are at home looking after a sick kid, you could do some squats while you're, doing something with the kids. You can actually do, if you're carrying your kid around and comforting your kid, you can do some squats holding the kid. That makes them even tougher. If the child is sleeping and you're watching some TV and just kind of being quiet, you could use the commercials as a time to do some push-ups or some crunches or a plank or whatever. If you've got a workout video, you can put that in and do that while your kid is sleeping. There's tons of videos out there. There's even free things that you can find on YouTube. So, you can always find something to do. So even if it's like 5 or 10 minutes of something, it's better than doing nothing. It's better than being like, okay, my whole thing is derailed now because something got in the way. Like, just improvise and get something done. You'll feel so much better. Even just a quick 10-minute walk is going to be better than doing nothing at all. So don't be like it has to be all this or it's nothing at all. And like I said, I struggle with that. So if you do too, I totally understand where you're coming from. Hey, Ange, how's it going? Next one, make a commitment to someone other than yourself. So it's one thing to commit to yourself and say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get back into my routine. But when you just commit to yourself, it's really easy to justify not doing your workout. It's like, okay, I don't feel like doing it today and no one's going to care. I just promise it to myself. But if you tell somebody else that you're going to be doing this, if you tell your partner or your kids that you're going to be working out on these days at this time, if you skip it, and they're going to like, well, why'd you skip it? You're going to feel kind of bad about that. And as humans, we really don't like to disappoint other people. Like that's just something that's part of our makeup. So tell people that you don't want to disappoint what you're going to do. So on the days when you are kind of like wavering on it, you don't really feel like doing it, you're going to think of that person that you told, and that's going to get your butt out the door and you're going to do your workout. And if you don't have anyone close to you that you feel like would really care about your workout plans, join a Facebook group. There's lots of Facebook groups out there that will keep you accountable, and some are specifically there to keep you accountable. I've got some groups where I'm always putting in fitness information, motivation, and that kind of thing, so feel free to join one of my groups. And that way you've got a community of people who are expecting to hear from you. And when you know there's people expecting to hear from you, that's going to help keep you on track. And it just feels so good when you open up that group and you say, okay, I just did my workout and it was awesome, and you feel really good about it. So use that as a way to keep yourself committed. Next one is get comfortable with being realistic. So, we can have these great plans for ourselves. Hey, Marissa, how's it going? So what I'm going to use here as an example is maybe you're planning on doing, following a ketogenic diet. You're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to follow this ketogenic diet, super low carb, going to stop drinking alcohol, all this stuff. And then you think, wait a minute, I meet my friends every Friday night for appetizers and drinks. Well, that's okay. Don't just be like, oh, well, I'm not going to do the ketogenic diet because I have one day where I'm not going to want to follow it. Follow it on the other 6 days, and that one day you're out with your friends, don't follow it. It's not a big deal. You're going to get more health benefits out of doing a ketogenic diet on most days than you are to not do it at all, right? So even if it's like 3 or 4 days, you're going to get benefit from that. So this kind of goes back to that all or nothing thing. Sometimes, things don't work out perfectly, and that's okay. If the majority of the time you're going for healthy choices, that's what's going to count. It's not going to, what happens every once in a while is not going to be what counts that much. So, make that, just think about what you're planning on doing. Think about your current lifestyle. Think about what you are comfortable with cutting out, and think about what you are not comfortable with cutting out. If you know that you need to have that night with your friends on Friday night where you meet for appetizers that aren't healthy and have a couple of drinks, if you know that that is something that you can't live without, then factor it into your plan. That's all you do, just factor it in and you have that night. Doesn't mean that you have to throw everything else out the window and be unhealthy on every single day of the week. It just means that you're going to have one day where you relax and you enjoy, and the other days you're following a healthier plan, and you're going to feel so much better for it. So, got to be realistic about it. If it's not something that's going to fit with your lifestyle, it's not something you're going to stick with long term. And if you're not going to stick with it long term, you're not going to keep the benefits that you get from it. So if you're doing something short term and then you go back to your bad habits, you're just going to lose all those benefits. So what was the point? So you got to think about what you need in your life, and there are certain things that we need in our lives that really help us, and figure out what those things are, and then figure out your plan around that. And let me tell you, you'll be a lot happier, because trying to be perfect all the time will only backfire for the majority of us. Hey Darcy, how's it going? Hi Louise. And then the last one I'm going to talk about is make sure that the changes you're wanting to make are actually important to you. So you might decide to make a change and realize that the changes that you're making are actually more important to somebody else than they are to you. That's not going to last for very long. So when we decide to do something new, motivation is high. It's, it's something new, we're excited, we're going to do this, we're ready to go. But motivation is funny. It's there that one time, and it kind of hangs on for a little bit, and then it starts to drop off. And that's just what happens with motivation. That's the way it is. So if what you've decided to do isn't really all that important to you, when that motivation starts to drop off, you're gonna give up. You're gonna quit. That's just, it's not important enough to you to keep going. But if the changes that you're making are really super important to you, then those days where you're feeling like you're not motivated to do it, you're going to think about the changes that you're trying to make. They're going to get you excited again. They're going to build up that momentum and build up that motivation, and you're going to get out there and you're going to do it. But it has to be really important to you. So for instance, with my training for my figure competition, this is really super important to me. So on those days where I don't feel like working out, or on those days where I'm like, oh, I just want to eat everything in sight and not follow my healthy diet, I think about what I'm working towards, and that excites me. That gets me back on track again. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I want. I'm enjoying this. This is, really important to me. And that just keeps me motivated and keeps me on track. So make sure that you're making changes for the right reason, not to please somebody else, not to, it's got to be for you. It's got to be important for you. It's so important. Hey, Stephanie, how's it going? So those are 5 tips to help you get back on track. And I think right now a lot of us are kind of in that boat of getting back on track. I know I am. With it being September now, I've increased my schedule for my studio, and I'm going to be doing some other things, adding other things to my schedule, my personal schedule. And it's just the time of year that kind of thing starts to happen. So rather than getting anxious and upset about it and worried that you're not going to do it, think about the tips that I just gave you, and just get back on it, and it's going to feel great. Like, how great does it feel when you're back into your healthy routine and it's part of your lifestyle again? You're feeling good, your energy is up, and you're just, you just feel so great. So, use these tips and start working towards it. And if you need more help, feel free to comment below, or send me a message. You can send me a private message. I'm always really happy to chat. I'm super happy to help motivate you if I can do that. So don't be shy about reaching out. Hey Judy, how's it going? So I gotta run. I actually have to go to the gym because I need to do my leg workout today, and it's a tough one. I'm not super excited about doing it, but I'm gonna do it because it's important to me. What I'm working towards is super important to me. So I'm gonna get there, and as soon as I start doing the workout, I'm gonna be happy that I'm there. I know that because that's just what happens with working out. All right, guys, have an awesome day. I'll talk to you again soon.